and as you can see, that command is added to the macro that I'm creating. Now I can add as many send alarm commands as I want, each with a different destination. And when the alarm occurs and the macro is activated, all send alarm commands will be executed and all respective devices will receive the alarm notification. I'm only going to put myself on the list, but if I selected 2 more workstations, then they would receive the alarm as well once that alarm is triggered. Note, send alarm is used to forward a notification for an alarm that occurred in the system. The send alarm command does not work if there is no alarm triggered. All right, so you have to have the alarm trigger the macro in order for the send alarm command to be used. And one last note, the send alarm command should be first in your macro. All other commands should come afterwards. The send alarm command does not take up time. So once the macro is activated, it simply runs through the send alarm commands if they are at the top. If I had a different command that took a minute to work and the send alarm were to be after that command, then I would wait a minute before I would send the alarm, and that's not what you want it to do. I'm going to give my macro a name. I'm going to call it camera 3 video motion detection, for example. Any name will do. Just make sure it's a logical name that you can then follow through with later on. When I'm done creating my send alarm command in my macro, I'm going to click on save, and it saved it in the list. And keep in mind again that I'm on the collective force. I'm going to click on the close. And now what I need to do is link that macro to the alarm. So I'm going to go into my alarms screen. I'm going to select my activity detection, and I'm going to edit it. And if you recall, the last screen we had was the ability to select the macro to run when this detector is activated. And I've been skipping this up to now. And here's my macro that I just created on the collective force. So I turn that on. And when I click on finish, here it shows me in the summary of my alarm window that the macro name camera 3 VMD is linked to the camera 3 activity detection alarm. All right. That's how you send an alarm. There is something you need to do to be able to receive an alarm, and that is called external alarm. By default, external alarm is on for all units. So basically all units are configured to receive external remote alarms. To change these settings, enter the main system settings of the specific device, and it'll be in your alarms setup. So what I'm going to do, since we just created that on the collective force, I'm going to go back to my own machine, which is the workstation that's going to receive the alarm we just created, and I'm going to edit it. And I'm going to go into my alarms section, and I want to make sure that I have the external alarm on in order to receive the alarm notifications. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to walk through the process of creating the external alarm. But again, by default it's on. You don't have to do anything in order to receive the alarms. But if you accidentally deleted it, you go to your own alarm section, you click on Add Detector, you select the external alarm option. Again, you have activity time. When do you want to receive external alarms? And then at the end, you can run a macro. I'm currently not going to run any macros, so I'm just going to leave it at none, and I'm going to click on Finish. All right, so again, to send the alarm, you need to create a macro that sends an alarm, and to receive an alarm, you need to make sure that your external alarm detection is on. Note, the workstation will only display the external alarm if the alarm activated runs a macro with the send alarm command, and this workstation is the destination. All right, so you have to have those occur in order for that to happen. So once I go to a different preset, I didn't get the alarm. Let me see. All right, just 1 second. I need to check my settings here. Let me double check the collective force. First, I have to go to the alarm screen to make sure that activity detection is on and that camera 3 VMD is on. Actually, let me check that the macro I saved it correctly. And it sent alarm to my machine. Now let me double check that my machine can receive. Oops, wrong screen, alarms. And I have it set to receive 24/7. And all right. Let me just go into the alarm screen one more time of the collector. Let me make it a larger alarm region of interest area, just to make sure. Let me select a larger area. In fact, something I can do is add the leaves movements to it, but it's a PTZ camera, so once I move the PTZ camera, it should be fine. Let me go to next. Everything here is fine. And I'm running the macro. Now, part of it is also the minimum time between alarms. And since it's an outdoor camera, part of the problem could be that it's recognizing more alarms. And since the collector is the one receiving it, I can't tell right now if an alarm had recently been done or not. So actually what I'm going to do, if this doesn't, there's the alarm. See, people walked in that area and the alarm came up. My guessing is that the minimum time, because it's the external camera, that I must have had an alarm while I was setting up, and then not enough time had passed by for when I had the alarm move, and then the alarm didn't come up. Because I did not change any of the settings, and here the alarm did come up now. And the only explanation for that is going to be the minimum time between alarms. Is that understood? Yep. Okay, because if a minute had not passed between the previous alarm, then the alarm is not generated. If the alarm is not generated, it does not trigger the macro on the collector. It will not send the alarm, and I will not receive the alarm. And ever since I did that, enough time had passed, and then I received the alarm. And as you can see, here's the alarm screen. It shows up to me up top. If I double click on the alarm itself, well, it shows me all the specifics of that. And if the alarm occurs more and more, I will have a tree of all the different occurrences that occurred here as well. And it shows me all of the information such as where the alarm occurred on the collective force, it occurred on camera number 3, and the alarm type was activity detection. All right, now we're going to get into viewing alarm-related cameras. There are several ways to enable your system to display cameras relevant to an alarm. We will cover the remote macro and related device methods. You need to use whichever way is best for you. The remote macro method, macros will only run on the device they are created on and will only display cameras where they are running. To get a unit to display a particular camera, a macro has to be created with the display command on the device where the actual viewing will occur.